or Ciuccaricchi against Fiorentina. Ciuccaricchi. It is what it is. I don't know that team. Ciuccaricchi. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. In today's video we'll speak about what apparently, according to the media, is sold to us as the only possible Scudetto race between Juve and Inter and nobody else. We'll also speak about winter mercato with Di Marzio yesterday evening that is telling us that Juventus will go for a big target, a midfielder coming from the Premier League. And we will also speak a bit about tactics, already giving you the alternative for Adrien Rabiot that will miss the game against Cagliari, with Weston McKennie that is important in the different alternative that we will speak about. I want to start with a big, huge, controversial episode, the one of Juve Verona, onside or offside of the goal of Kean. No, in today's video, we will not speak about my neighbor that is doing since this morning works. I don't know what he's doing, probably he's changing all his house. It's a total disaster. I believe more or less it's the 50th time that I'm starting the video all over. So if there is one day where you want to support the channel, please do it now. I need your support because I can promise you that keeping my focus and concentration in today's video is super tough. For the new people, subscribe because I promise you that the noise that you are hearing in today's video is not something usual, or at least I hope you will do it just one day and stop it. Anyway, let's go back to what happened. You know, it's in this year we have the opportunity with DAZN, with a show called Open VAR, that we are able to check images and audio. They are always doing with 2 weeks of delay. So yesterday night they spoke about Juve Verona. We see Gleison Bremer doing the pass to Kean, and what we can read is, if I go on the one behind, the frame behind, Kean is onside. If I take the images of the system, okay, perfect, the one of the system is offside. This is what we can read. Of course, when you are reading it like that, and you read, okay, perfect, the one of the system is offside, a lot of Juventini will debate about it. They will go totally crazy. They will ask themselves, why are they choosing that image? Why is there even a debate in the VAR room? Why are they mentioning it? Well, the real audio, and I will read you, is actually going like that, with one voice that is saying, pay attention, that's one is an important one. We have to control every single aspect, every single point. We have to check really well the skeletons. Why? Because this one is tight. Can I confirm? The system is telling me that it is offside. You need, speaking to the referee, you need to overrule your decision and cancel the goal. The problem is, of course, that you hear another voice, a feminine voice that is saying, actually, if I take the frame before, Kean is onside. If I take the one of the system, it is onside. And that's where we have a problem. Because, I tell you immediately, according to me, there is no debate. Look at the two frames. You see Bremer doing the pass. In the second pass frame, you see again Gleison Bremer doing the pass. And when you're seeing the images, which one are you choosing? But there is no debate, because this year there is the semi-automatic offside with a chip in the ball that is giving information to a satellite. That satellite is giving the images to the VAR room. And this is the one that you have to take. If unfortunately for the Juventini, the decision is that it's offside, it is offside. There is not even a debate. Of course, when you are hearing the audio and they are going with, but if I go a frame before, it is onside, and then you start with strange things in your head. Why are they even double checking? And that's the only question that we have to ask ourselves today. Why are they double checking other images? If the system is telling you it's offside, it's offside. Point. No debate. Annoying for Juventini? Absolutely yes, but it is what it is. Of course, if you tell me they are able to choose between the system and the other ones, then we have a problem. In this case, it's totally correct because they are using the right one, the one of the system. If, and I don't know if it already happened, and I hope it will never happen, if they have the ability to choose, like actually a bit, the misunderstanding of the verbal communication is telling us, then we have a problem. We have a huge problem, and this should absolutely not be the case. And no, because then we start with really crazy things. Anyway, it's a bit like today Corriere dello Sport that is starting to show is a really strange ranking. A ranking where Roma is third with 16 points behind Inter and Juve at 19 points. Well, good for Juve, because then we are not anymore at -2, but we are equal to Inter. But where is that ranking coming from? Well, apparently only from the 4th match day in Serie A. Why? Because these are the games where Lukaku played. And ragazzi, if we start doing our own ranking, and then I can find you 100 rankings where Juventus is always first. And no, we have to be objective. We have to take the facts. And it's a bit the same as the VAR audio and the VAR images on the thing of Kean. It is annoying, and of course we can debate about this is not football, this is not beautiful, but if there is a rule and we have to check the semi-automatic images from the system, then it is like that. Don't start creating crazy debates, because then people go crazy, like people from Roma that are saying actually we are the best one of the world. No, because at the moment you are not third, you are 6th or 7th, I don't know, you are not third, you are not at the moment in qualification of Champions League. It's a bit like that crazy narrative that they are telling us, because first it was a race between Juve, Milan, Inter, then it was Inter and Milan, then now it's Inter, Juve, about that Scudetto race that is changing from week to week. It's always a narrative, but it's a bit annoying. On Corriere dello Sport, you know that today there is Champions League, and they are not speaking about Champions League. They are speaking about the Scudetto race. Inter on one side, Juve on the other side. Ancora voi, again, both of you, going back to a historical Derby d'Italia Scudetto race like in the past. No ragazzi, calma, tranquilli, match day 11, before the Derby d'Italia that will be played after the international break. First there is Juve Cagliari, there is Inter Frosinone. By the way, yesterday Frosinone won 2-1. I sent a message to Mattias Sule, he answered me, and I will never reveal you what he told me. I can guarantee you it was quite funny. So hopefully Frosinone will win next week, but it's far from there. And I'm annoyed a bit when I see Gazzetta dello Sport. They are speaking about Milan against Paris Saint-Germain, but then they start some crazy things with Scudetto all'italiana, an Italian Scudetto. I'm a bit annoyed. 3 weeks before the game already, they start with that narrative. And if it is to analyze a moment of both teams, why not? Because when you are opening the pages, you see 2 walls that we have to study. And on that one, I can agree, because we learn new things. For example, the fact that both of the teams conceded only 6 goals in 11 match days, that 7 were the clean sheets of Inter, 8 the ones of Juve. You see how many times the opponents were able to shot on target. And we also learn, for example, that there is that narrative that Juventus is playing so low. And if we are looking at the game of Fiorentina, we were super low. But actually, if we are taking the 11 match days, Juventus is actually playing higher in average than Inter. Inter, 50.6 meters is the average of the position of Inter. 50.7 is the one of Juve. I would never have imagined that, but these are the facts. So it's nice to see, to study, to see also stats that are proving that things are going okay or not okay. I don't like when you're going, again, in Gazzetta dello Sport with lo Scudetto è azzurro, with a really huge Italian flag where you see Barella on one side and you see Federico Chiesa on the other one. You see that they are speaking about more Italians in both teams, with Barella, with Acerbi, Bastoni, Darmian, Di Marzio and Fratesi. On the other side, you see Chiesa with Miretti, Gatti, Rugani, Locatelli, Moiskin, Cambiaso, and they are even mentioning Hans Nicolosi that didn't even start at the moment. Will it be against Cagliari? We'll give you the alternative in a second. I'm happy. I'm trying to speak fast because my neighbor stopped for a second. Maybe he went to the bathroom, so I will accelerate. No, but I tell you, that narrative of Scudetto, it's a bit too early. Calma, tranquilli, it's beautiful to dream, but until a certain moment. Look, Tuttosport is going with another title. The people of Juve, the supporters, are saying Avanti Juve, crediamoci, let's go Juve. We believe in it, and believing is great. You see that the games with Cagliari, the games with Inter, are already sold out, and there is already a waiting list, a queue list for the game against Napoli that will also be played at the Allianz Stadium, which is beautiful. We see a bit of that happiness. The people of Juve that are believing in something bigger, they don't want to just stop at top 4, they want to believe in something else, and that's great. Believing is one thing. Then, if you are convinced that there is only that Scudetto race, pay attention, because the next game, you lose. Inter wins, and it's over already, the narrative of only the race of the Scudetto between Juve and Inter. What is important is that the players are believing in what they are saying, that they are believing what they are doing. That strategy of being a bit cautious from Juventus this season in, we don't have the best team, we don't have the biggest depth, especially with two players that they took away from us from off-the-field problems. Well, we have at the moment not the best and biggest depth. It is a reality, but they are believing in it step by step. Let's try to focus with first achieving a minimal objective that is top 4, which at the moment we are succeeding it. And also not forgetting what happened last year. Keeping in mind that they took us away that Champions League, that now we have to take it back on the field. Then, from that moment on, when we are in the month of March, April, if we were able step by step to do it, believe in something bigger. But at the moment, tranquilly. And how did Juventus do it? Well, we are hearing it with Szczesny that is reminding us about these 10 points taken away. In Fiorentina, Juve, after game, he said, we are doing better than last year, but of course, we hope that they will not take back these 10 points, referring again to last year, the total chaos of the field. On the other side, a lot of decision has been taken this season with big charisma, experience, personalities from the locker room that we decided to let go. Di Maria, that had 1 year of contract, Paredes, that went away, and we know it, big character, big personality, Quadrado, a huge one in the locker room, but also Leonardo Bonucci. And the motto with Giuntoli, with Manna, with Allegri was, we want to keep only the one that are mentally believing it. Mentally, they are ready to play. Mentally, they know what they have to do and they believe in the process. And that's what we are doing. And that's why I'm sure that we will not think about Juve Inter already, but we will focus on Juve Cagliari, the next game. That is the most important one. Anyway, now I want to enter tactics before speaking about Mercato. Multi-uso McKennie si traveste da Rabiot. Multi-use McKennie, it's, like that Swiss knife McKennie. Where will he play? We don't know, but he could possibly take the dresses of Adrien Rabiot. We worked on 3 different alternatives for the midfield against Cagliari. One with Cambiaso that could play on the right side for the first time this season, with Weston McKennie as a mezzala next to Miretti, with Locatelli as a regista, Kostic on the left side. If you see that I have put Huijsen there, it's just because Gatti is at risk of suspension and he could possibly miss the game against Inter. I'm not sure if he will play or not, depending also on the physical condition of Alexandro, on Danilo. If these 2 players are guaranteed that they can be back for the game against Inter, I'm sure that Gatti will play against Cagliari. If not, if we have some doubts, why not the debut of Dean Huijsen? That's one alternative, McKennie as a mezzala, where his father will be extremely happy about. On the other side, we have McKennie that is doing fantastically well on that right side of the field, and this time with Cambiaso as a mezzala on the left, in the position of Rabiot. For what reason? Because actually that's what we saw in that second half against Fiorentina. Cambiaso entering, not on the left, not on the right, but as a mezzala, and did pretty good, I have to say. He was about to score that second goal in the end of the game with a cross from Weston McKennie. The third alternative could be Hans Nicolussi as a regista. Why? Because in the last press conference, when there was the question about Hans, Max Allegri said, I see him at the moment more as a regista, a vice Locatelli, and this time with Locatelli playing as a mezzala. Is it a solution I believe in? You are changing 2 big things there. You are changing Nicolussi that starts his first game, and you are changing Locatelli that is actually playing better and better and better in that role before or in front of the defense. And we finish with the last big topic, the one of Mercato, because yesterday night Gianluca Di Marzio, Mercato guru, Italian Mercato guru, said Juventus is looking for a midfielder, something that we all know. You don't need to be called Gianluca Di Marzio to know that. Allegri and the management are looking for a mezzala more than a playmaker. More than Phillips, there are also 2 other names, Thomas Partey and Højbjerg. Højbjerg is not a newness. Thomas Partey is one that comes and goes from that list, sometimes with a big push, sometimes not. But the big name that everyone is pushing today is Calvin Phillips. I already spoke about him. I believe like 2 days ago I even put him on the front page on the thumbnail. No, I am not a paper yet at the moment. There is no GJustjuve magazine. But Calvin Phillips, I told you I really like the player. I really appreciate the player. But I told you that in terms of finances, it's impossible to sign Calvin Phillips. Why? For a simple reason. Manchester City invested a lot in terms of money on that player when he came from Leeds. And it's a player that you can't just sign because we don't have the money to sign him. On the other side, he's really a defensive midfielder. It's not one that will give you a lot of goals, a lot of assists. What Juve is looking for, a Samardzic, a Rodrigo de Paul, for example. Calvin Phillips is probably a player that will play you or in a two-man midfield or in a three-man, but probably in that regista, but not really a regista that is building from the back, but one that is breaking the line. So is he really the player that we need now, especially now that we unlocked Locatelli and that he really understands what he has to do in that role? I am not sure. Also because it will be a player that at the end, after the 6 months, you will not even be able to sign. Is it a player that I like? I told you, yes, I love Calvin Phillips. What I saw before Euro 2020, in Euro 2020, it's a player that I really like. He wants to leave on loan or definitely. That's a fact because he played only 4 games for a total of 89 minutes. He played a few minutes against Bournemouth now this weekend. Yes, he's a player that could see himself far away. Manchester City would be interesting in loaning him, especially in Italy, and especially at Juve, where you have absolutely no competition or no chance to play against each other. But is he really the player that we need today? Big question mark. Speaking about Champions League, well, today Champions League is back with Lazio, Feyenoord, with Milan, Paris Saint-Germain. Tomorrow, Napoli against the team of Bonucci, that since his arrival, they can only do one thing, is losing. Salzburg against Inter, and then you have on Thursday Europa League with Slavia Praga, Roma, with Atalanta, Stuttgart, and the Conference League with Ciucaricchi against Fiorentina. Ciucaricchi. It is what it is. I don't know that team. Ciucaricchi. Let me know the game that you will watch. Maybe you're a big fan of Ciucaricchi and you can tell me a bit more about it. Grazie ragazzi. I tell you, I'm happy. It's, I believe, the 50th time that I'm recording. Total disaster today. This time was a good one. Again, I think he was taking a break. He went to the bathroom. Thank you, neighbor, and stop it. Finish your works today. Grazie, forza, Juve.